And if you're banning Snapfire and Dark Willow, I feel like you're happy.
Mm-hmm. It would mean so many cores left in the pool for Ghost to be able to pick from. I'm in complete agreement. I feel like you knew exactly where they were probably going to go with this, right? Like, sure, you didn't know that the Pango was coming, considering you had to pick beforehand, but in Grimstroke Mars isn't a bad combination in the slightest. You know, it gives you a lot of that team fight control, even just against the Weaver, right? If you're able to land that Phantom's Embrace, even just the Soulbind, right, onto a Weaver, it means he needs to be a lot more careful with his positioning in these team fights. It means that, you know, you can't just run on through because you're going to be linked up to someone and suddenly your big survivability potential goes out the window. But what's done is done. They've picked up the Willow. It's still a decent combination, but I want to see more lockdown now for Spawn.496. They didn't have it last time, and they didn't have anyone to deal with this Pangolier once he was rolling and just charging on through the team fight. So whether that's something like a position 1 Shadow Fiend that's able to just stand there and hit, if it's something like a Medusa or a Terrorblade that's able to deal with it. Terrorblade not so much, just because the illusions are still going to be able to be dealt with the Rolling Thunder once he pops that BKB. But they need something. You can't just let this Pangolier have a complete free game early on.
It definitely feels like it just could be that case, though. Like we've seen now another game where Ragdoll really looked to enable GY.
It's the same draft.
What's stopping you from going Drow Ogre again?
Ogre. Nothing.
They have shown that they do not give a damn about playing the same draft, or like flipping one hero that is really just the same hero. It does the same stuff.
5 seconds.
Like I just would not be surprised if they just go for Drow Ogre.
Radiant team, Dire team,
Drow Ranger.
Why? And now you don't have a Grimstroke.
Are we watching a replay?
Now
Are we watching a replay right now?
Now you don't have a Grimstroke to enable a Spirit hero, which was a big reason of why Sillin had a very good game 1.
They are lacking lockdown. They are lacking... Like, you have to think that small pause that Ragdoll had before picking this combination was like, all right, what could they possibly be thinking could respond to this? Because we're just going to pick the exact same stuff. We saw how... Like, it was a 23-minute game that they just had. So they had to be thinking, is there anything left in the pool that can actually deal with this Drow Ranger? Is there more lockdown that they might look to go with one of their mid laners, for example? Because you probably can't do it with your position 1. I mean, do you Spectre? Do you, like, I feel like you need to focus this Drow 100%. Like, there needs to be something that enables you to just lock in onto her and deal with her.
I don't think you can go PA. Like, I think it has to be a hero that comes online a little bit earlier. I think PA takes too much time, and you see when Ragdoll actually have a good lane and take towers, then you just lose map control.
Team ban.
Phantom Assassin.
Do you want to predict now? Or?
So, I feel like I need the stage to talk for a little bit, because
Okay, go on. I will have my mate and I will let you go on your rant.
I was a fan of Spawn.496's draft in game 2. So now I'm being very hypocritical. I'm being very judgmental. I still think they have better team fight. I still think their area control is really strong. The carry matchup as the game goes late can be good if Drow if they're even net worth. But I think we saw the weaknesses that I didn't see, and we saw it in game 2, that when you fall behind and you don't really dumpster your lanes, you've got no damage with levels, and you have no one to make plays. Undying can't make plays, Dark Willow can't, Mars relies on Blink, and now they pick a Queen of Pain that has a good matchup. Like, it's...
And they did get rid of the Kunkka. That is something that's changed with Spawn.496 this time around. So they are lacking a little bit more of that frontline presence, right? The catch isn't quite as strong. But, like, you're losing one hero with stuns, but you've still got a Pango and an Ogre and no way to deal with them just yet. All right, that is at least something else that's able to shove out lanes a little bit more effectively. Is able to punish the fact that Ragdoll might not have these early BKBs. So it's going to be heavily dependent on Spawn.496 to get these smokes working, perhaps get some really deep observer wards up so that you're able to start a team fight with getting on top of GY and Citrus. I think that's the big key. If you can dream coil them, you can very easily win a team fight because not only like you don't have to have this Mars Dark Willow combination now. You can just have a Puck Dark Willow roaming together, and Dream Coil plus Terrorize just as effective as the Mars. It's better. It's better than the last draft, that's for sure. But am I confident? Still no. I would say Ragdoll's still probably going to take this.
Well,
What do you feel?
I like the puck pick a lot. I do like the puck pick a lot. I think the
Go on.
I like the puck pick a lot. Like, this is a really good last pick. It gives them a lot of the issues they had with their control, and it's a lot of damage early too. Yep. My concern, you can't actually really kill the puck early. I was going to say my concerns, if puck fall behind, then he's going to be pretty level reliant as well for his damage, and then I think then Ragdoll just completely snowball this game.
You can go a Yule Scepter on this puck. Like, all you're really doing is trying to create space for PA, like to farm. Grandmaster on Red's Mars, didn't even notice that, but I feel like you're not worried about damage early on. You just want to make sure that you're able to survive for long enough to enable PA to have a game, and for Drow Ranger to not have taken your entire base 20 minutes in. So we'll see if he's able to do that this time around. They are lacking a little bit more in the form of the stuns, but you know, you'll at least be able to dodge out the Orchid if Citrus goes into it, which is honestly pretty damn likely. You're going to be able to prevent yourself from being Gust silenced. You can even do a little bit of dodging of the Rolling Thunder. I wouldn't hate a Yules on this puck.
I don't want to do it. Like, I'm really considering doing it.
I will say this game will go longer than the previous, but I still think Ragdoll.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ragdoll. I really like this puck pick though. Like, it's like, I really like this puck pick. I'm a big fan of it. I think it gives you the control you need for the Pango early before he gets levels. He can make rotations. He's got really good lanes to rotate to as well, which I think is the important thing. He should have a pretty good matchup, and Silen is a master tier puck, level 28, so he's gonna be pretty comfortable, especially against the Queen of Pain.
Yep, you're going to be able to dodge out the Shadow Strikes in lane just with the 1 point in phase shift.
I don't think there's been enough emphasis on GY, and I think that is going to be a big concern with how they can deal with him. But, you know, we'll see. Time to find out. We've gone the distance, game 3. You always love to see it. And, of course, this game 3 and also the whole season is brought to us thanks to the help of Mate Mate, our official partner, a natural energy drink, which is caffeine reimagined. And you can try Mate Mate today and get more day, more night. There's also a little bit of a discount code as well if you enter BTS Dota over at bts.gg/Mate Mate. So
you gotta enter the discount code. What are you doing if you're not?
I mean, it's giving me powers. It has given me godlike powers that I'd never expected to have in my life. Like, you're a big fan of, you know, all the gods. You know, we always love. We get to see the movies on screen as well, the Marvel. You're all kind of fascinated by them. You fantasize about having all these powers, and I never thought there'd be a day where I'd get that, and it's just off the back of a drink. It's kind of crazy.
For sure, for sure. I'm going to go see Spider-Man tonight. Maybe that's what Peter Parker's been drinking, you know?
Yeah, Mate Mate. It's definitely doing some crazy stuff. You know how good Twitch chats can be an absolute menace to society. I was in the OGA Twitch chat a couple days ago, and all these fools were spoiling just a particular movie. And Jesus Christ. Oh my god. It's the same thing as game 2. Ohio just obliterates Yif with that soul rip. But
it's a lot to deal with the Weaver this early on into the game.
You gotta be a different breed to spoil a movie. I tell you what. And you won too.
Was it Spider-Man?
I don't want this chat to go crazy.
Okay. Even Ohio's denying himself in the exact same spot as last time.
He's got 2 mangoes, a Selv, and 4th hangos. I think he denied himself 3 times in game. At least 2.
Twice.
3.
Yeah, it was twice.
It's literally identical. What is going on? I'm so confused. Oh, what a game. I like this a lot though. I like when we get the replicate of a draft because it makes me feel like either team felt like they had a winning draft where they just misplayed a few minor things, and I find that really fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, again, this mid lane is going to be much better for Spawn.496 than
Bottom,
what we saw in
Red's gonna
previous.
go down. And Zhao Bonbon's gonna be in trouble as well. No extra assistance, of course, and VT Faded's just got an ogre to plunk up in front of him.
No sentry wards, at least, for
Dire's top
menu
tower
ping,
is
so they're
under
not going to be
attack.
able to... Actually, no, the camps will both spawn, actually. He might be looking to get a little bit of a camp pull off here. Not quite. How's topside looking? If obviously wanting to prioritize a little bit more of that
Just clear his
sentry
space.
in the laning stage to make sure that he's not getting focused down by that soul rip. He level 3 though on the Undying. We saw that Ohio last time around prioritized maxing out that soul rip before the tombstone. So there is a lot of damage potential if you're out of position.
Can you remember what Ohio went for first big item as well? Because we saw Menu Ping went the Soul Rip, but also he went Holy Locket, which felt like a little bit more synergy with his skill build and then item.
Can't recall actually. No, I feel like he was starting to build into a Holy Locket, but BT faded
Yeah,
bottom
he's in
side. He's
trouble.
getting focused a little bit. Actually spears him through the brambles there. Nice use of the gust early on.
Another level we see early for VT Faded. He really likes holding this just in case he needs it to get out to safety. And we've seen it come in pretty clutch fashion here through the laning phase.
It's just such a clutch value point, right? Against someone that needs that range to be able to get the maximum effectiveness. Just 1 point. That's all I ask. As long as I don't get these pubs where you're level 9 without a single point in gust, I'm happy.
Mid lane, it's looking a little bit Queen of Pain favored at the moment. Sillin, just gonna actually have to jaunt up to the Radiant
Sharp might be
side.
in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, that he will. I mean, Menu Ping and VT Faded, you see again how strong this lane is. VT Faded
Continue to
continuing to
chase.
hunt. If he can get one more Frost Arrow slow.
He's
God
running
damn
a little low on
Bulwark.
mana. He only had the 30 mana left anyway, so we would have had maybe 3
Radiant
frost arrows
structures are
once the regen
fortified.
was part of the equation there. But
And top,
once
they're in
again,
trouble
VT Faded-
too. Ohio Ghost being kind of bullied under the tower. See,
Ghost is still farming well though.
that he is.
With my thanks.
How can we see them enable Ghost a little bit more? Is it just having like a playmaking position too to help?
Sorry, I just saw him use 2 mangoes to TP back to base
Who?
on Ohio.
Because yeah, we saw the Razor in game 2, like he wasn't able to make plays. I think having a Phantom Sassoon is a lot more of a greedy position 1 who needs the time and space to be able to find those items because he's not the strongest laner as well. Bottom, VT Faded just gets a little bit of distance away thanks to Menu Ping, and in fact now with the assistance of Yif, they should be able to add up a secondary kill. Now will cost Menu Ping his life, but now VT Faded can come back into the nick of things and pick up his 3rd kill of the game.
Betrays a
Yeah,
lack of
he's
skill.
very happy with being able to get that. His positioning is always pretty damn good, especially in the laning stage. VT Faded as well. One thing I really like about him is he doesn't leave his support completely on an island. He wants to make sure that he's able to save them. Ogre's doing his job, right? Menu Ping is forcing a lot of the attention onto himself. Again, not going the boots, just wanting to tank up as much as possible. Full magic wand, infused raindrops, and taking advantage of Ogre's.
Coil first choose mid. It's got some extra supports behind, but Yip as well is closing the distance, and Sillon's gonna pay the price. He jumped underneath the tower and misuse of the abilities, and our Citrus is still nearby as well. Blink's only level 1, but it's not gonna matter. Yif and Menu Ping. Great positioning from them.
They might have seen the fact that it is nighttime. Maybe they didn't see the observer ward up there on the high ground, but got another sentry, and that should definitely see it as well. I don't know if you want to stay with a puck coming through.
Yeah, you don't. Sillon. A little bit of a freebie. Top lane as well. BT Faded another super early rotation. Ghost does solo kill GY, but yeah, it's gonna be at the sacrifice of his own life.
Just overextending his welcome a little bit. I think I even used saw the soul rip be used onto Ohio himself as opposed to an aggressive Sora. I think they might have been able to kill Citrus if he used it on him instead. It was a nice use of the Dream Coil, but even better response coming through from Ragdoll.
Dire's top tower
And, well,
is
the
under
pressure just
attack.
continues on this top side. Yif looking to assist with the tower taking potential. Of course, the Blightstone makes that tower drop just that little bit faster, and wouldn't even surprise me to see Yif try and cut this next wave and make sure that you're freely able to just hit in onto this tower here.
Structures are fortified.
And it doesn't look like they're going to trade as well. Like, Dire's Siege early on
Radiant's
is
bottom tower is
very
under
lackluster. So Radiant now will have the choice of either to maybe start to send their forces mid or send them bottom if they want to set up a defense.
And again, it's going to be the two... Honestly, they have three heroes that are very hard to kill with the Ogre, the Pango, and the Weaver, right? So you just toss two of them down there on the bottom side, and well, even if they look to commit to try and make that trade
They're
happen...
trying to close on
Annoying.
Citrus. No, it's alright. Nice use to the ward.
Dire's top tower has
Maybe
Yeah,
Yeah.
like how do you kill all these people? You've got Ogre, who's incredibly tanky, still doesn't have the boots
Oh, I
coming
saw him
out to him.
smoke.
Oh. Yif, he's just being a pain right now, really. He's trying to find out where Ghost is farming. If he gives up his own life to be able to stop this smoke
Radiant
from
are
having an effect,
scanning.
this could be the difference, right? I said last time they haven't really made any attempts to try and kill VT Fader on his own, and he's farming
They're gonna
right
try
underneath an
now.
observer ward. Double
Dylan,
Dream Coil.
Corbett into the silence once again, and now they're going to be bursted. Ghost is going to look to utilize the control, but he himself might sacrifice his life. Zhao Bom Bom will provide the extra damage required, and Ghost has still got the Phantom Strike on cooldown, but the extra Soar of Health will give him the opportunity. Citrus, he's playing around with the Arcane throughout this team fight, so the abilities are back up, and Citrus is going to jump onto the tower, but that's not a tier 2, man. The damage ramps up early, and the Queen of Pain. Oh, was it worth it? Well, when you kill both of them, maybe it was.
Precious bounty.
Okay, I mean, it's a little bit of an odd move for sure, but once again, VT Fated able to get that gust off just in time. This is nighttime. They had no vision that that was happening. So the fact that he was able to get that gust off, sure, you get coiled, but there wasn't the follow-up damage there.
Ah, yes. A Weaver solo killing someone like the Undead. Oh, okay, didn't go for it.
Thought he might have tried to switch the tower aggro over to the creeps and dive a little bit deeper, but the respawns were coming. Puck hadn't revealed herself on the map just yet, so wanted to play a little bit safe there on you. He's still in the region, though. He's hungry for it.
GY.
Here we go. Now.
This is, again, Dire need to get this bottom tower. You have to open up the map for the Phantom Assassin. You don't have any hero at the moment that can farm Ancients, so Triangle's pretty much cut off. They look to target down the Pangolier at the moment, but Citrus nearby, and especially with GY still having the Rolling Thunder available, and he's going to utilize it perfectly. Bouncing back to knock up Red, and he'll even found Zhao Bonbon on the backline too. So they can chase down the Dark Willow, and Red, well, you lose your courier. I mean, some pretty poor
Radiant
micro.
structures are fortified.
And Red's going to make him work for it, and the bug's almost ticking him out. Space created, if you want to call it like that. I mean, meanwhile, mid, we got a battle breaking out. They're on top of the Drow, Sillen once again with a coil. GY's going to look to swing on over, but VT Fated again is continuing to stand his ground. The Dragon Lance and Shred Treads making him feel so tanky early on, and the full
away.
face check TP. Drow is out to safety once again, and now Ohio left to fight against the world as the rest of Ragdoll show up.
And once again, like, that's the thing. Lack of stuns. We saw it in game number 1. You know, you made a lot of aggressive moves come through on Ragdoll, but they weren't able to completely capitalize on them because people just TP'd away in their face. And it feels like this time around, Spawn.496 are the ones trying to do the same.
Zhao Bonbon.
Fuck.
Yeah, pretty high level here with the Dark Willow early. Great positioning as well from Red to find the angle, so
Dire's bottom tower
we're gonna
is
kill.
under attack.
And I mean, year 4 level is he at the moment. Level 8, so honestly, that's a pretty big kill.
Bounty.
Yeah, for sure. He's being that greedier style, right? And that's what we talked about it in game number 2. That's what you can do with this Weaver. That's what you can do with this Pangolier.
Red might be in trouble. Spear doesn't get it off, and you know,
Spear.
the rest of Ragdoll was coming on over anyway, so definitely would have been
Maybe
difficult.
just thinking that they want to take this next team fight, right? They want that Rolling Thunder to be on cooldown.
Sure.
They're going to try and shove out this lane as much as they can here on Zillion. They don't have an Orchid just yet, so he feels safe enough to be able to go into this lane and continue to shove. Even picking up the... be careful here, Zillion.
Might be forced to drop the
He's resting his
coil. And he will,
his
but
team
still he's
there.
going to end up dying. Another wasted coil
BT
and...
Faded on top. They're going for a solo kill, but Jump on Bon, is he going to be able to pick it? It will help if BT Faded walks into the bramble like
Wow,
that.
nice. That's a big kill. Just also for experience, because we saw exactly what Xiao Bonbon could do in game 1 with a very high-level Dark Willow.
Dire's middle tower.
So that's what you need, Danog. You don't need 4 heroes to kill the Drow. You just need one talented Dark Willow player. Understandable, I get it.
But I feel like Ohio could have been mid, right? Like, if you just need that solo kill, it's not like he was doing too much else of anything. And, you know, if you're able to get a single soul rip-off, Puck lives, right? So they aren't going to be able to take advantage of the fact that this Rolling Thunder's been on cooldown. It's just about to be back up and available again. I like the fact that he's changed up his build a little bit here on menu ping as well. He's going into that Veil of Discord. This time around, you got the Queen of Pain. Why not use it?
Dire looking to connect down bot with their smoke. I like this. Dangle Ghost. A tier 1, so if you could get a pick off and then lead it.
Man, Red is so underfarmed, man. It is not looking good. And same sort of thing with Zillern, right? He's fallen a fair way behind Arjit, but I feel like still, until those BKBs come out, you're going to have so much more effectiveness
The
in the race.
supports always. I do not... Ragdoll's read on a majority of games is exceptional. Especially their supports, with how they need a posture, breaking smokes, and our Citra's going to TP in. Reeling the Orchid. They want to target down the Mars. If they can get rid of the arena capability for the team fight, it's drastically going to favor them. But... well, not this fight, as Red's able to keep himself alive long enough, and with the backline as well, they've caught out VT. A big kill for them to fire, but it looks like the rest of Ragdoll still feel powerful enough to turn it back in their favor.
Nice jukes.
But some cute jukes from Ghost is enough to miss out on the first couple uses of the roll, and it was actually going to look to jump on full. GY, not an easy kill nonetheless, with all the damage reduction that he's built up with a shield crash, but with the 5 heroes surrounding the Pangolier, they can finally take their first team fight success, and even the Ogre will bleed another life.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And how the hell did Ghost get back up that high? I guess the heal coming through from Ohio plus the stick was just insane, but he was down to 20%. I thought Ogre might even try and commit to go for the solo kill onto him. Ogre can deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, look at Xiao Bonbon. And Yif... oh, there's trouble.
Dire's
Detection?
middle tower is under attack.
Okay.
Gonna be able to get away just in
Arena
time, but you've got
coming.
Citrus coming in. I mean, again,
Look
they
at the
don't have the
commitment,
arena.
though. They really want to keep this tower alive for as long as possible. It's going to cost
They
them
got
the
the
life
Veil
for the
now, though.
support, so 1-for-1 trade early, but the lockdown, it's there. Menu ping. They've got the cancellation of the TP. And the rest of Spawn.496 instantly evacuating from the area. Silland looking to push out mid, and Ghost is trying to get whatever extra farm he can. But this is a different Phantom Assassin game. Top of
they
their
found
net
Puck.
worth. Oh, this is a big one.
Is under
Yeah,
attack.
that early Orchid pickup, I've got to say, I'm not a fan of the item build from Puck. You got to go first item yours. He's going it now, but the quarterstaff, like, sorry, the Blitz Knuckle, you're against the Silence on the Drow. Yours is so good versus the Pango. You know Quap's going this early Orchid rush. You just have to keep your life.
Yeah, Witchblade definitely is not the go in a game like this. You know, that's when you need Puck kind of to do the heavy lifting, and you've got a
Ghost.
PA for that.
Radiant's
You're
bottom
bleeding
tower
another
is under
kill
attack.
potentially. I mean, Xiao Bonbon's gonna look to put his body on the line, and that should be enough to keep Ghost alive, man. Xiao Bonbon is doing God's work here.
Yeah. Good counterplay though by Ragdoll,
Ghost
making sure to
doesn't-
split
his
the
TP's on
damage.
cooldown.
Attack.
Oh
Radiant
no, and they
are
found him as
scanning.
well. Ooh, have they?
They have now. He didn't cut through the trees, and
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Unfortunate.
Sure, we'll go with
Positives.
that.
Red's nearly got his Blink Dagger, so that's going to enable them a whole lot more. You don't have BKBs even remotely close to any of the heroes on Ragdoll, so it's going to be very effective, particularly with the Drow Ranger. And she's just changed
Dire's
things up.
top
She
tower
was going
is
into the
under
Hurricane
attack.
Pike, but just had the BKB start to be queued up. So maybe seeing where Red was going, the fact that he'd been farming that past couple of minutes, just feeling like it's going to be much more important for this stage of the game. And again, he's just chasing Zilla, and he's making sure that he's not able to farm and get that next key item, which still is that Yule Scepter. But he's 400 gold away.
Dire's
This
turret
hero is so
has been killed.
stupid.
Yeah,
Dude, what am I watching?
You weren't a believer in me.
No,
I'm just
I just had it. Oh, it's just an illusion, guys. Oh no! GY instantly making them pay for it as they're on top of the puck. The control is magnificent. The damage is showing up, and now Ohio next on the agenda. They'll pray that the Terrorize is going to be enough to give them space. Jabonbon doesn't have the damage at this stage in the game to find some retribution, and he himself might also die underneath the tower. The only thing holding them back is the use of the bramble. They will get denied. I love this Spirit Vessel pickup from Pango. Their poke that they have from afar is so difficult to deal with. You got Swashbuckle, you got Multi-Shot, you got the Ignite. Weaver can get in and out, and you just see, like, if you use one ability in Spirit Vessel on Mars, half his health just gone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That really amplifies the impact of not having this Yule Scepter on Zillion. All he needs to do is shove waves out and live, right? And the fact that he's died 6 times is... It just doesn't fit with their game plan in my eyes, right? You've got this PA, he's got the Battle Fury, Ghost is farming at an alright speed, really picking up that Desolator, but you need to do something to prevent yourself from losing your entire map control before that stage. I mean, this is probably a similar Roche timing from what we saw last time around. Maybe it was a couple of minutes earlier, just because...
Okay, they don't continue chasing.
And he's got the blink, so at least he
bottom
can
lane,
escape,
though.
right?
Yeah, they found Ghost again. He's gonna go for a straight out TP, but Yif, another ATOS build. That is enough to find some form of cancel. And now Sillen's still in trouble too. They have lost the Drow Ranger across the map. TPs are starting to flock on over as well. Have they bitten off a little bit more they can chew? Sillen is unable to dodge the damage with a Sonic Wave, but nonetheless keeps his life. Alright, silver linings.
It's still looking all right for 496 with the response to that, but of course the downset was... was that a solo kill again by... Oh, no, it was in combination together with the arena, I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense. We didn't see it down bottom. Okay.
But still, closing in on that BKB, he could finish it now if he wanted to on VT Faded. He's of course got the Dragon Lance available, looking to build into the Hurricane Pike next. Just again, it's all about the survivability early on for this Drow Ranger in particular.
Do you like that they gave the Aegis to Citrus? Because I felt like this was the stage in game 2 where we saw Ragdoll group up with this advantage in this first Roshan. So do you feel like they're going to play a similar style even with Citrus having Aegis, or can they not really do that because it's on a different hero?
I feel like they can, just because last time around you had the Kunkka. You're very happy to just let him be on the front lines because, you know, strength hero, very tanky. You've got the Ghost Ship as well, just to provide you with that extra little bit of survivability. Queen of Pain isn't afforded the same level of... what's the right word to use here?
Margin of error, I suppose?
Yeah, I would say that, right? And it's going to change, of course, when Citrus gets the BKB, but I think it's just getting into that stage that's the main concern. So he still needs to be the frontliner, but right now he doesn't have the survivability. He's damn close, though.
A very early BKB, though, for VT Faded. And I believe the co-op is, yep, hers completed as well. So this is a huge, huge timing key for Ragdolls. They've got the Aegis for another 2 minutes 30. I mean, Citrus is going to scale very nicely too with the Blood Blast. This is a hero that's got a great attack animation and base attack time. You know,
he has to be careful here. I mean, he's playing around his tier 1 tower at least, but he's well away from the rest of the team that's showing.
He'll always have a way to get BKB off. Yeah, the arena's too late. Coil as well, you'll get BKB. It's such a huge item versus the Mars. Like on paper, you're like, okay, Mars, pretty big counter. BKB just completely negates that. Sillen is going to have to use yours here to get out of the Orchid. It's taking way too much damage. In fact, it's an aggressive use of the yours, and Sillen, you got a bug on you, my guy. But VT Fade on the backline's going to be cautious as well with the BKB pop, giving him a little bit of space to get out of the arena. And GY comes crashing into the middle of it all as well, as Menu Ping trying to give some extra assistance. They brought down the Drow range up with the sacrifice as well, and truly worth it as a 5-man wipe as Ragdoll bring all 5 towards the triangle.
Oh, Oh, it's a little bit of desperation. They even bought the gem on the puck, and it's immediately gone. Yif has been able to pick that one up, so any kind of map presence that they had has been removed from the equation. Sure, you kill VT Faded. It was a little bit on the aggressive side, we have to say. You know, you don't have the Aegis, my man. Had to pop that first BKB charge as well, but Citrus, all he gives up is his own Aegis. He still didn't even need to use the spell immunity. And like you said before, the scaling potential for this Queen of Pain, it's looking pretty damn good so far.
I didn't even have to use the BKB as well, which is a huge thing.
Yep.
So this duration, it was still 9 seconds for the next fight. And for Ghost, I mean, he's up there with the net worth, but he's still gonna need BKB before we see any real impact from him in these fights.
Man, they're putting a lot of faith into Arjit as well. How many times do you see a Grove Bow not given over to the Drow? They're just completely putting it in there on Citrus. Obviously, getting a lot of those right clicks off makes the effectiveness of all of your spells that much more potent.
Oh, Scylla might be in trouble. Yep, there's the Orchid out. Ragdoll once again just closing in on the puck with all their heroes, and this has not been a game you look to hope to remember here for the puck, as the rest of the Dire just have to try and get out with whatever they can down bottom. But Zhao Bonbon's caught. Ohio's caught as well. Red's still looking to stick around. They're taking a fight without the numbers advantage. They've blown up GY, and now they're going to look to TP out afterwards, as well, Zhao Bonbon will make it. Red, is he fortunate enough? The speed poking through the trees, of course, unable to see that.
Radiant's top
Red's
tower
shown.
is under attack.
Imagine if it wasn't. Like, if
No,
it's
don't
on
do
the
it.
map, you
Red,
could
don't do it. Oh. That's a scary thing. You got auto attack on. And
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
are they actually going to play down bottom? No arena. Puck's back alive.
Radiant's top tower is
Ghost
under
is looking to
attack.
join them as well, but once again, the multi-shot. That's another time we've seen where that multi-shot into the tree line has scouted out the attempt.
They saw that smoke as well. They still had the range creep there, and they smoked underneath it, so Zillion was caught inside the smoke, and they're all just completely retreating back, getting underneath their tier 1 tower. Wouldn't surprise me to see Menu Ping put himself somewhere in the trees and look to try and pop that one first, but instead they just go for their own smoke. They know exactly where the movement's coming from, so they're going to go for a little bit of a backstab here.
Ah, yes. Look at all arcane rune here for Citrus. They're going to look to run straight into Hyo first. Definitely not the high value target that you're hoping for.
You'll
They
take
might
it.
catch Scylla as a straggler, however. Still lacking the blink dagger, such a key component here for the puck. And
Found
GY,
him.
Our scan.
great positioning for himself as well. He's already got the items to heavily deal with any escaping pesky hero like this puck. They're not even done. Menu Ping.
Yif's hunting as well. He's making sure that the Mars can't join in onto the team fight, just being a nuisance with the use of that Rod of Atos. And I feel like you're pretty damn happy if you're able to take that. They'll let the Dark Willow get to safety. You're not the one they're worried about, Mum. It is going to be Red taking another fall.
Can PA do it, Danog? Can he win this game for them?
We've seen it happen. It's a tough ask, though, right? Like, it feels like they need a lot to go their way. And for me, most importantly, it's killing Pango before the team fight even starts. And even then, that's going to be even rougher because Yif is only 200 gold away from Aghanim Scepter. So you've got two people that you absolutely need to burst down before these team fights begin, and you don't have the potential to do it. I feel like you can get one, but not both.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We're just going to see how difficult it is, especially with that gem given over too.
Dire's bottom tower has
And it's
fallen.
just Dire very much playing off the back of their initiation. Like you said, you've got to burst these key heroes down and look to play off the back of that. But if you don't have vision, then it's going to make it really difficult to have that perfect fight that you're asking for, being 15,000 gold behind.
It's a long Roshan respawn timer, and Ghost has been able to reach up onto his level 18. He's also got the BKB completed, but they have to make sure they're not taking a team fight before he's truly ready. I mean, all of their vision is set up around the top side of the map, so they're preparing for where they want to fight. They've abandoned the fact that this bottom lane is going to be pushed in. Red's going to do his best to try and, make sure that at least the tier 3s aren't being sieged upon. I'm just seeing some of these positionings coming through from VT Faded and Menu Ping here. going into the Lotus Orb next.
Top lane.
on
They're looking to set up. GY is showing himself
They've
at
got
the
the vision.
moment. Yif's
They've
behind him.
given up one Observer Ward. They've only got one left. Like, they have to play around this.
They're going to
This is the
blow him
one
up straight
full
away.
safe
But
haven.
Yif has got the Aghanim's. It's going to catch him off guard here. Yif doesn't get it close enough, though. Okay.
Yep. You got to get the crits. You got to get everyone committing onto one hero. That's exactly what they needed to do. It's still 15k net worth behind, though, and you need to do something now with it. They only pop the tombstone for it. They might just use this time to shove out the lanes a little bit, but you aren't going to get many of those situations, right, where that happens. So you need to capitalize as much as possible. Don't know if you can be split too much. They want to see if Roshan is available again, even putting the Observer Ward right outside of it to see when Ragdoll do look to make that sort of attempt. Could we see a smoke happen on 496? I guess they're really close to the BKB on Mars. They needed that, just so that there's not going to be anything stopping him from getting off his full array of spells.
I don't think Dire can leave this top side of the map, though. Like, now you force yourself to push here because of these two wards placed. If you lose this, you've got no hope in taking fights. At least fights that are going to look somewhat advantageous.
Yep. I mean, they have to play around Roche, right? That feels like the one thing that's going to bring them back into the game. They've got a lot of good abilities.
Oh, not another illusion bait. Oh my, instant smoke up as well from Ragdoll. They're like, all right, big opportunity.
It could be worse. It was just Terrorize.
I think that's pretty big for them.
It is.
You need any ultimate you can goddamn get at the moment. They see Ghost as well farming in the lane, and there we go. GY will charge up the Rolling Thunder. He's going to look to utilize his burst potential on Red. He's able to get the ultimate off, but it doesn't matter as Citrus protected with the BKB. And that's just going to be all Ragdoll through this fight. As Dire, they're still sticking around. Sillin, he's trying to find an angle to the fight, but a beautiful stance from BT faded onto 2. And Ghost is nowhere to be seen. He's back off, trying to set up his farming patterns as Citrus finds a triple.
And wouldn't you know it, this is the maximum time for Roshan to be respawned. And so Ragdoll, they said, look, they've wasted one of their ultimates. We're probably going to win this team fight. We have to take it right now because it's not going to only result in, of course, a net worth and experience swing for ourselves, but this next key objective in the Roshan with the Aghanim Shard there for himself. So I would imagine that it's going to be going over to the Queen of Pain. Yeah, just to get that little bit of an extra silence off, particularly for the Dark Willow, right? You always want to engage and force
Oh, well, they've run into Ghost down bot. You'd hate to use your first BKB just to TP up, but you honestly might be forced to. Like, look at the damage Yif and Pango are doing by themselves. Ghost's actually going to look to jump in.
Nice.
But Pango is still relatively survivable. This time lapse coming into play. Now Ghost is struck out in the nick of timing. But I tell you what, that is not what you're looking for. That BKB usage is supposed to somehow make a miracle happen.
It was a cute play, right? Like I said before, with this Pango, it has a free game until you've got that BKB available on your cause. Ghost tried for it. It's the sort of attempt that you do need to make, but it just didn't work out that time around because of the good presence of mind coming through there from Yif, being able to get that time lapse off. And he's even reached up onto his level 18 as well. So now it doesn't cost any mana.
Here comes the siege.
Got the glyph, and BT Faded just tossing himself there in onto the front lines. I mean, he's got the Bloodlust, he's got the Manta, and they've even got the Siege Creep as well. Yep, once again, popping the glyph, and this time around, you've at least got the illusions to soak up a lot of those tower hits as well. So with how tanking they are, a tier 3 tower's not going to be able to get rid of them. So you've still got this siege potential.
And GY is just waiting. One opportunity of a hero overstepping the mark. He's instantly going to pounce. Look at the wraparound though, Red. Oh, that's an exceptional arena. This could be the fight they're waiting for to bring themselves back into this game. It's Drow Ranger will lose the first life, but what more can you get out of it though? They're going to look to try and chase down Yif. The time lapse still on cooldown, but GY, he might have just on it. He might be able to turn this fight back around. It's an exceptional Rolling Thunder. They're on top of the Phantom Assassin, and the key thing is that VT faded uncontested after the ages. He's sieging from downtown. He's gonna have to do it by himself. He's gonna go up the high ground here. Zhao Bom Bom playing around with the Shadow Realm. Sillin as well. The damage is lacking, but now with the Bedlam back up, they can do it. So Spawn.496, my lordy lord, what a team fight.
It's a good team fight, but it's just little things, right? There's no reason for both the PA, sorry, not the PA, the Drow Ranger and the Queen of Pain to both be hit by the Cursed Crown. It's just a little bit of miscommunication coming through there. Sure, you take a tier 3, but you've opened up a small avenue to be able to come back into this one. The fight recap shows that the big benefiter of that team fight was probably the Dark Willow, you know, being able to get a lot of that gold, a lot of that experience, and now reaching up onto level 18, Xiao Bonbon's just been enabled even further, also holding onto the ceremonial robe, so that magic damage is pretty damn extreme.
That would have been huge if PA was actually able to keep his life through that all. He I think got, I can't remember now, I think maybe the fourth highest gold from the team, or fourth least, I should say. So you know, he doesn't really come out as a heavy hitter there. But you know, Puck now, Aghanim's... Oh, okay, Sonic Wave. Yeah, Puck's now got Aghanim's, a bunch of levels as well picked up for Silim, which is nice. Level 20 now completed, so...
Don't hate this either from GY. He went into the Basher. He's just tired of this Dark Willow. I mean, Xiao Bonbon, for those that aren't aware, Bombi from recent seasons of the DPC. He's Dark Willow and honestly a lot of other signature heroes, the Wind Ranger, the Winter Wyvern, the heroes to be feared. But GY obviously respecting it a fair amount, just not wanting that Shadow Elf to come into the equation. So even if he doesn't have the Rolling Thunder available, he's still going to be able to swashbuckle and most of the time interrupt any TPs out.
Run it back.
Standing in on the front lines again is VT faded, just 50 gold short of that Lincoln's.
Ghost is close to the Aghanims too, about 240.
There we go, Lincoln's coming out on the courier right now from the Dire secret shop. Using that crossbow to its full effect, even just, oh, that's such a cheeky play coming there from GY. Considering it's daytime, they had good vision on the Mars, tosses the Spirit Vessel onto him, preventing any kind of blink initiation.
Here they go. They got pretty good ward set up at the moment. And a little bit patient, trying to find a different angle in. Radiant, they're hauled up at the moment around their triangle. They have found a nice little setup. The Observer Sentry, so they will have control, or at least the vision advantage for this fight. Long way around though.
This is going to be real nice for Ogre Magi as soon as he finishes up that Aghanim shard as well, right? Because realistically, the only heroes that are going to be hitting you right-click consistently is going to be the PA. So to be able to negate 85% of that incoming damage is enormous.
Ghost. They're going to see him on top of the courier wave. Instant counter smoke as well from Ragdoll. See either team looking to bear the task of walking up the high ground.
What do you reckon the win prob is?
Oh, like 81, 88?
93.
Okay.
I would agree with that. I mean, I feel like you're in a really good spot overall. I mean, he's going into a little bit of a, let's call it an unusual build coming next from VT Faded. He's actually changing things around. So he had an E-Blade and a
E-Blade's
Ag Shard, and now he's changed it into the Aeon Disc, which I suppose he just wants to prevent himself from getting 100 zeroed, right? And I feel like E-Blade requires a little bit of reaction. They've got some okay stuns coming out.
E-Blade's nice with the marksmanship, like just all the extra agi. I'm pretty sure it was a Drow I was seeing go like E-Blade sometimes just for that factor. We don't see this hero too much. It's gonna be really nice defensively as well.
The amount of attack speed that these guys have, particularly Citrus, right? Like, he's got the Bloodlust with the level 20 talent buffing him up. He's went for the 30 attack speed talent, and you've got the extra agility coming through from the Drow Ranger, providing you with that extra attack speed on top of that. So he is right-clicking for a hell of a lot of damage right now.
Top tower is under attack.
Dire looking to come outside the base. Not fast enough to protect one of their wards. Xiaobon's gonna look to start the fight in the Ogre though, but it's gonna be cautious as GY instantly finds the angle. A pretty high value target. I mean, Dark Willow's got a lot of the damage here from Spawn.496, and luckily enough, Roshan, it's not up for the takings.
Needing to address this top side of the map. They've just been playing completely away from it for now, so there's this double siege creep wave that Citrus is going to need to push in. You've also got the next wave coming through, and that's a lot of solo experience coming through to him as well. So something like that going to be quite nice when you know, you're playing as this Queen of Pain. Don't know if you want to go the spell block this time around, though. It's not
Tribute.
amazing on him, considering the heroes that he's coming up against.
Why?
Very rare that you're going to use the aggressive Yule Scepter.
Why do you think Drow went Lincoln's then? If you believe spell block won't be too good at the game here for the Quap.
I feel like for him, it's a little bit more important, just because you are lacking the same level of movement as the Queen of Pain. Also, probably Citrus is going to be somewhat tankier, right? Like, he's got the Titan Sliver, he's got the Scythe of Vice, he's, you know, able to stand in there on the front lines. And
they've got a lot of quick burst potential. We saw what could happen last time.
they're all
He's going to look to
behind him.
instantly try and charge up the Rolling Thunder and catch anyone by the choke point. He's a little bit too late here as Ahai is just going to sacrifice his life. And I mean, Roche is up in 30, so still nonetheless, that's a nice pick off with all the area control around a choke point like Roche.
It's true, and you've also got a bunch of lanes pushing in. I mean, this is what Zillon's doing now is exactly what he probably could have been doing 20 or so minutes earlier, right? Just creating space, forcing them to not be able to breach any of these key objectives that they're going for. So the fact that he's able to park himself down on this bottom side, of course, it's easier now with the boots of travel and just being able to immediately rejoin a lot of these team fights, but it takes their attention away.
My lord, nice blink timing.
Yeah. And as soon as Drow reveals herself on the top side of the map, that's Zillon's Q, pushes in this wave, still playing somewhat carefully, making sure to illusory orb backwards, and then immediately rejoin the rest of the team.
Yeah, they definitely don't have the greatest
Tower is under attack.
catch on the side lanes on Radiant. So Sillon is going to be enabled heavily now that he's been able to pick up some items. You know, of course, the Quickening Charm helps out a lot as well. So this could enable Spawn.496 to be able to take a team fight in their favor just because of the lane setup here. Maybe it can catch Ragdoll off guard from being split up a little bit.
And Ragdoll really do feel like the only way that Spawn.496 is going to get back into this game is by the PA.
Jesus.
So 3 Aeon Discs on every single one of their cores coming through.
But he is queuing up a Nullifier, so he has recognized this issue.
Exactly. Very nice presence there. Oh, the leveler.
So they gave the Aghanims to menu ping, which is I find very interesting.
Let's go. Let's go, Ogres.
Huh. Like, you could consider GY. He's got Basher.
I probably would have given it to GY, to be perfectly honest.
Here we go, though. 29,000 net worth lead. Aegis Cheese. 25 as well on Citrus. So it did go for the spell block. See, just VT faded, man. Look at this machine gunning Drow or the attack speed.
Oh, it didn't
They don't get the speed connection, in fact, so VT faded, not summed up at the moment. Man, look at them go to work. Raiders got enough opportunity to pop the BKB. They're going to have to rely on the buybacks. Ghost is looking to target down the Queen of Pain at the moment, but unable to find that lockdown. So they'll turn their eyes towards VT faded, but once again, the time lapse, beautiful timing. As Jith, he's able to give a little bit of a sigh of relief here for the Drow Ranger, but they've still killed him off the once. Can they do it a second time, though? Citrus jumping over the wall, looking to try and provide any extra assistance for VT faded. Slowly, Phantom Assassin is getting the middle, but Ghost is lacking. He's going to jump on forward, but the Undead still available. Buybacks lacking, heroes lacking. Ragdoll, they'll take this series and they'll move on forward before the break to close out 3-0 to start this Division 2.
I really like the way they took that team fight. They just expended every single one of their resources on Spawn.496 because they just had so much that they had to deal with, right? You had BKBs available, you had the Aegis that you had to go through, and 3 Aeon Discs. So it's already hard to kill them, but it's hard to kill them essentially 3 times, even more so. So from Ragdoll, oops, sorry, nice gameplay coming through from Ragdoll. And yeah, kind of what we expected in terms of the series result, but Spawn.496, they definitely put up a little bit more of a fight, particularly in games 1 and 3 than what we were expecting.
Yeah, I think there's... They lost the series, which is always rough to say, but we saw a lot of signs of improvement there for them in this series overall. Like game 1, we were both favoring Ragdoll's draft. In fact, we were heavily favoring Ragdoll's draft, and we thought they were going to be the better team coming into it. But still, there's credit to be given.
I just hate anti-mage though, right? So that
yeah, I'm like I again have been baited way too often by anti-mages. So I see AM instant enemy team. Ragdoll still nonetheless so. Like we were saying, this is a team that you've got. You got to win series you're supposed to win. Like a game like this and in DPC, still every single series matters. Like you have to win those clutch ones because we see what's happening in different leagues. We see EG losing two that potentially shouldn't have. That's going to probably cost them a major. We see Talon potentially dropping some games they might be debatable to drop, and that could cost them Division 1. You have to win every single series, and well, for Ragdoll so far, they've kicked off the season in incredible fashion.
Even like in China, right? And up until the last day, I believe, or maybe the second last day of their Division 2, there were 5 teams on a 4-2 win-loss record. And at the end of the day, there were 2 that were able to separate themselves at the very end of it. But just to be down to the wire that much just shows how even it is across a lot of these DPC regions. But for Division 2, that is it for today. But we've got 2 great Div 1 matches coming up. Firstly, we've got Boom against Motivate Trust. That is, in my opinion, if Motivate win that, then they have a shot at going to the major. If they don't, I feel like it's going to be T1, Boom, and SMG making up those top 3 spots. So very, very, very important series coming through for the Thai boys plus Jackie. And then second, we've got TNC versus Execration, 2 teams that were right up at the pointy end at the end of last DPC. But this time around, it's been a bit of a reversal of fortune. Both of them kind of fighting it out for relegation a little bit down there towards the bottom side. So 2 really important series for 2 different reasons in Division 1.